Here's how you get kill your mob. Which Power Ranger are you? Take us to kill your mob. Obama sent the immigrants to kill your mob.
Hello, fellow autistic people. Have you also spent hours and hours over the span of your lifetime staring in the mirror, practicing how to smile normal? Please don't say it was just me. My parents would always get mad at me, specifically in pictures, for not smiling right. And I was just like, I don't know how. I am 20 years old. I still don't know how. I still do this. I still practice in the mirror, and I still have not found a smile that looks not frightening. And because I'm autistic and need to have an answer for everything, but I did not know that I had autism, I used to justify this in my head by saying, well, when I was a kid, I had a gap between my two front teeth, so I never learned how to smile. And it's like, that really doesn't add up.
I literally want to be best friends with you. And I want to hold hands and kiss and eat eggs in the morning together after we go to sleep. Do you want to do that with me?
More in a porn cause you're an intern. Unpaid.
Is this actually what neurotypicals think stims look like? You know, this is a perfect opportunity for a standalone video about stims. Let's do it. I'm gonna do that by differentiating a tick from a stim, because everyone seems to think that they're the same thing. They're not, okay? They're not. Stimming is just short for stimulation. It's the way our body gets rid of excess energy. And very importantly, everyone does it. Literally everyone. Shake your leg during a test because you're nervous, that's a stim. An autistic person might only get the right satisfaction from tapping on the tables, even though that annoys everyone else in the class. In fact, stims can actually be dangerous. You ever hit yourself in the head when you're frustrated with yourself? An autistic person might slam their head into the wall instead. I'm not going to specify if I'm speaking from experience. Most importantly, stimming is self-soothing and self-regulating. I love the way this article puts it. It's like an urge to scratch an itch. If you get a bug bite that you know you're not supposed to itch because it'll make it worse, your body still wants to itch it, but you can stop yourself from itching it if you focus on it. But odds are you're still going to do it when you're not thinking about it. Also, as I implied before, stims come in many forms. Here are mine. Finger waggling. This kind of hand flap, this kind of hand flap. Gabagool. I tend to rock a lot without thinking about it. I bob my head a lot. I have full body twitches very often. Really overstimulated, I kind of start doing this, and I don't like that. Oh boy, my vocal stims. Where do I start? Like, I just mumble gibberish every now and again. Sometimes it turns into words, and for some reason that word tends to be Green Day. Oh yeah, and I just sing loudly, very loudly. It's very annoying. Yes, very embarrassing in public. Like, you know when you unconsciously scratch yourself when in a public space and you didn't realize you did it? Imagine that, but instead you're yodeling My Chemical Romance. No, I can't actually yodel, that's just what I'm calling it. I will say, on the surface, the weird stims of autism can seem like tics. They tend to be both verbal and physical. They happen on a spectrum, with the most severe being Tourette syndrome. It has very similar common associated conditions like ADHD and OCD and learning disabilities, and you know. Once again, this article puts the difference between the two perfect. Stimming is to itching as tics are to sneezes. In fact, from this description of the premonitory urge you feel before a tic, it kind of sounds like the feeling before a sneeze, doesn't it? You just kind of like, and if your body doesn't let you sneeze, you feel terrible, because the expression of that tic brings that relief, like a sneeze does. And like holding back a sneeze, you could technically hold back a tic, but you would literally be fighting against your own body. Compare that to how stimming is. You normally don't even notice it happening to begin with, and when you do, you can easily have your brain just say, stop doing that, and it'll stop. I mean, unless you're having a meltdown, there's no stopping that train, buddy. Also, because of that difference, tics can become a lot more complex. I actually have occasional full body twitches, but they're not that bad, they don't happen that often, it's the only tic I have, so it's probably not Tourette. Could be wrong, though. By the way, did you know that the swearing that basically defines Tourette's in the mainstream is actually a relatively rare symptom? More often, vocal tics are just going to be repeating words or echololly at worst, which is also a common autism thing, but I'll make that another video because I am out of time already.
Buy yourself a planner and just write out your whole schedule and make sure you stick to it. That's the important part.
Don't take your shoes off when you walk in the door, or you'll lose your momentum and won't be able to wash the dishes.
One of the not-so-pog things about being a system is that we all have access to my debit card. So you get, like, multiple people with not great money management skills anyways, and poor impulse control. Throw a few children in the mix. And basically, we never realize how much money we actually have in our bank account because we forget that other people have been buying things. So, maybe we should get that a bit under control, folks. Nobody's in trouble. I also just spent money I didn't need to spend on dumb shit because I thought it would be fun. But maybe we slow down or stop the fun money spending for a little bit so that we have, like, money for things that we need and we're saving for, like, more important things or bigger fun things instead of a bunch of little things.
Okay, but why are you friends with them? Their vibes are horrible. I hear you, and I get that, but I need everyone to like me so much all the time.
But hear me out, because Mabel is the perfect example of what ADHD and autism look like together. Dipper, who just shows traits of autism, has no trouble focusing on a task. But Mabel can't focus no matter how hard she tries, unless it's a hyperfixation. Think Crush of the Week, mini golf competitions, or puppet shows. Mabel's special interest in arts and crafts remains the same throughout the show, but she's able to move on through crushes rapidly, unlike Dipper, because Wendy literally becomes his special interest. Also can never sit still. But ADHD and autism have a high comorbidity rate, so it makes sense she has both.
Because my partner and I are completely neurotypical, I'd like to just introduce you to how we're eating our Smarties right now. First we color coordinated them, and now we're sorting them into the progressive pride flag so that we know how many of them we have to eat, because we're going to eat them down until they're exactly the same amount of all of them. Yeah.
The tags on t-shirts. Satan. A little spoon. Very good. A big spoon. I'd rather starve. Light. Ah. That one shirt. Good. That one shirt. I can feel it. Oh, here, I'll scratch your back. Oh, sure, thanks. Damn, bitch. You have to punch me. That was so aggressive. I barely even touched you. Grocery stores. Too many people and too many noises.
T for T? No, I'm NBND for NBND.
Day 23 in the chamber. They ain't found me yet, but when they do, they're gonna be surprised.
If you have ADHD, you might find it hard to develop good habits, so here's a tip for you. Don't form new habits, tweak the habits you already have. Now, I know you probably have in your head some pie-in-the-sky version of, like, the perfect morning routine. But sorry, not sorry for calling you out. Your obsession with perfection is preventing you from making any progress. So let's forget about perfection and let's focus on progress. Do you throw your coat to the left every time you walk in your front door? Put a hook there. So now when you go to throw your coat, look, there's a hook there now. Do you always just throw your keys on the counter? Put a bowl there. Boom. Key bowl. Embrace the key bowl. And then, follow for more ADHD content.
Good morning, autistics. And no one else. Just kidding. Here's something I realized. I have this habit of always wearing headphones even when I'm home alone, because I live alone. And I realized just now that the reason I do that is because I'm subconsciously uncomfortable with the idea of making sound at all, in any way, or even being alive in a way that other people would notice. So, just abuse survivor things.
I've learned that I get along with all mental illnesses. For the most part, that I understand them. I understand the over or under emotional side. Like people with autism. I have 2 cousins that are autistic, and we hang out all the fucking time simply because we don't need human interaction. We don't have to touch each other. We barely gotta fucking talk to each other. We don't have to do shit but just sit there and exist in the same goddamn room. Borderline personality disorder. You guys are fucking fun because your emotions go off the goddamn rail. You have enough emotions for me. Narcissistic personality disorder. Fucking fun. We manipulate each other into doing stupid shit. DID. Fucking fun. Multiple people for me to talk to. I don't have to interact with anybody. I'm interacting with at least 4 people at one time. With their own personalities. I get along with everyone. Just not everyone wants to get along with me. Because I'm me. And I don't feel certain things. So I'm always outcast.
Good afternoon, everyone say hi to the ceiling hanger. Over 80,000 of y'all so far have felt so immediately attached to this hanger that you felt emotional, even cried when I took it off my ceiling, and only felt better when I restored it. I have to say I get it. And with that, I also have to say I think some of y'all would benefit from considering the idea of an autism diagnosis. Other autistic people, what are your thoughts on this? Because my thoughts are, yikes. My thoughts are, you don't have to tell anyone you're autistic if you don't want to, and you can still get discriminated against for autistic traits, even if you're not diagnosed. And with a medical diagnosis, you can get protections from laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act. I think your mom should reevaluate, because while there are countless reasons not to seek a medical diagnosis, to protect you from it isn't a good one. A diagnosis isn't what causes discrimination. Ableism does. Let's talk about the hanger and why I told y'all you might be autistic. It's got some gold jewelry today, by the way. I hope you like it. There are a few reasons why getting really attached to this hanger might be evidence of autistic traits. Firstly, some of the comments I got asking me not to take the hanger down were like, no, please don't, I've gotten used to it, I don't like change. I think that one's self-explanatory. Secondly, it could be hyperempathy, which is a common autistic trait. If seeing me almost take the hanger off my ceiling made you upset because you were worried it was going to feel hurt or left out, that could be hyperempathy, similar to how a lot of autistic people spend the same amount of time with their stuffed animals each night, and how once when I was a little kid I started telling people my favorite color was red, because red had never been my favorite color before and I didn't want it to feel left out. The third, and I think most likely option, is that a lot of you are letting your attachment to this hanger be your version of carrying around a little guy. Or at least that's what I call it, because my most prominent example of a little guy was my lizard, Peapod, who I carried with me everywhere when I was away at school. A little guy is an object or a toy or a blanket that you can get attached to and then go back to or bring places with you that provides a sense of security for you. I've had countless examples of this in my own life. A blanket I couldn't sleep without as a kid. 2 pennies I kept in my coat pocket one winter that I always fidgeted with and cried when I lost them. I don't think this is exclusive to autism, but it's definitely an autistic trait.
Hi, my name is Dean, and I'm going to explain what it's like being an introject. Imagine you're just vibing at your house, and then a beam of light comes down, and you're abducted by aliens, and you're taken out of your body and shoved into someone else's body, like, you're just crammed down in that shit. And there's lots of other people inside of this body that you've been crammed into by the aliens. And the people are saying, okay, so we can't let anyone know that we've been stuck here. We all have to pretend to be one person. However, we're gonna be super fucking loud and obnoxious, while the person controlling the body is pretending to be one person, just for shits and giggles. You're taken out of your life and you're stuck into another. In my source, I am a 30-year-old man, and now I'm stuck in the body of a 19-year-old girl.
So, since we're both vaccinated and we are in the city, do you want to go to a gay bar with me soon? Maybe. I don't know, I'm kind of nervous. I've never really been to one. Did you used to go with your friends back in Pittsburgh? No, none of my friends were 21 when I was, so I just went there by myself. Oh, so you made friends at the bar? Kind of. What do you mean, kind of? Well, I kind of suck at making friends, so I would just find someone in the room who looked sociable and pretend like I already knew them. What? Yeah, you just go up to someone and be like, oh my god, hey! And usually they'll be like, oh shit, did I forget who this person is? And just pretend like they know who you are. You gaslit your way into having friends. Yeah, basically. That's so evil. I love it.